In this moment, Earth feels eternal, but nothing in the universe truly is. We call this progress, but every decision echoes far beyond our lifetime. The first signs are quiet, but irreversible. Even if we stopped today, the ocean would keep rising. The planet does not negotiate. It only responds. In just decades, we have altered millions of years of balance. The climate begins to fight back. Ice that stood for thousands of years disappears within moments. Life retreats, where heat takes control. The sixth mass extinction is already underway. Centuries pass, and the consequences remain.
The old world is gone forever.
Human traces fade faster than we imagine.
Time is the ultimate force of destruction.
But the deeper future belongs to geology.
The planet itself begins to reshape. Oceans vanish and mountains rise from collision. Nothing on Earth stays in place. A new supercontinent emerges, unforgiving and vast. Life struggles in the heart of the world. Deep beneath, Earth still burns. A single eruption can reset the planet. In an instant, everything changes.
And yet, life always tries again.
But the sun is slowly changing. Every 100 million years, it grows stronger.
Plants begin to fail silently.
The air itself can no longer support life. The end of plants means the end of everything else. Complex life fades away. Only the simplest forms survive. Then the oceans begin to vanish. A runaway greenhouse effect takes hold. Earth becomes unrecognizable.
The atmosphere slips away into space.
Without protection, the sun strips everything away. The surface becomes hostile to all life. And then, the final phase begins. The sun begins to die. The inner worlds are consumed first. One by one, the planets fall. Earth itself begins to melt. Our planet meets its final fate. Everything we knew is gone. But even stars do not last forever.
What remains is a fading ember.
From destruction comes creation. And somewhere, the story begins again. From space, Earth still looks calm and whole, but change is already underway.
The oceans rise slowly, but they never stop. Human structures fade as nature quietly returns.
Cities built over centuries disappear beneath the sea. Even the strongest materials cannot resist time. Beneath our feet, the planet is always moving. A continent begins to break apart, forming a new ocean. Where oceans once existed, land rises in their place. Entire continents drift, reshaping the world map. All land joins together, creating a harsh and unforgiving world. Far from the oceans, life struggles to survive. Extreme climates dominate, leaving little room for life.
Deep below, Earth's heat continues to reshape the surface.
A single eruption can alter the entire planet. From space, destruction arrives without warning. In a single moment, everything changes.
The world falls into darkness and silence. But over time, the planet begins to recover.
Meanwhile, the sun continues to grow hotter.
Every 100 million years, its power increases. Plants begin to fail under rising temperatures. The green world starts to fade away.
The atmosphere itself begins to change.
Without plants, complex life cannot survive.
The surface becomes dry and lifeless.
Only the simplest organisms remain. The oceans begin to disappear into the sky. Water vapor traps heat, accelerating the process. Liquid water becomes increasingly rare. Earth becomes a dry and hostile world.
The atmosphere slowly escapes into space. Without a magnetic shield, radiation reaches the surface. The surface becomes too hot for any life to endure. The sky fades, revealing the emptiness of space. Earth is no longer recognizable. The sun approaches its final stage. Its activity becomes increasingly unstable.
The closest planet is consumed first.
Then Venus follows into destruction. Earth now faces its final fate.
Its surface begins to liquefy under extreme heat.
Gravity pulls the planet inward. The planet is slowly torn apart. It is consumed by its own star. Everything that existed disappears. But even the sun will not last forever. A small remnant is all that remains.
The material spreads across the universe.
Over time, new stars begin to form. And the cycle of creation begins again.
From afar, Earth still turns quietly, but its balance has already been broken. The oceans remain, but life along their edges has vanished. The ground begins to fracture under relentless heat. Where oceans once thrived, only minerals remain. The sun slowly grows, becoming more powerful with time. The blue planet fades, replaced by dry and lifeless land.
Rivers that once shaped continents have disappeared. The last forests fall, leaving only silent remains. Heat rises from within and from above. The atmosphere weakens, exposing the planet to space. Earth becomes a world of dust, shaped only by wind.
Movement remains, but life does not. Even stone begins to change under constant radiation. The light grows stronger, erasing the world.
The sun now fills the sky, leaving no escape. The protective layer is nearly gone. Even solid rock cannot withstand the extremes. The entire planet begins to radiate heat. Clouds vanish, along with the water cycle. Nothing grows. Nothing survives. The surface continues to break apart. The sun becomes increasingly unstable. Its energy becomes unpredictable. The light begins to consume all detail. The crust begins to melt. Liquid fire replaces solid ground. The planet loses its stability. From space, it no longer resembles a home. Reality itself seems to bend under the heat. The sun enters its final transformation. Its surface becomes violently unstable. Gravity begins to reshape the system. Earth is pulled closer, with no way to escape. The sky burns without end. The crust can no longer hold its form. A world of fire replaces everything. Its structure begins to fail.
There is no protection left.
Pata. Nothing remains solid. And the end becomes unavoidable. The final descent begins. Forces beyond imagination take hold. The planet starts to break apart. Piece by piece, it falls away. This is the last moment of Earth. Its identity is lost forever. Everything returns to the star. Nothing escapes this fate. And then, there is only light. After destruction, the star releases its final breath into the cosmos. What remains spreads outward, forming vast clouds of matter. And these clouds carry the elements that once formed entire worlds. At the center, a dense remnant continues to shine. A quiet ember where a powerful star once existed. Over time, even these clouds begin to fade. Matter continues its journey across the universe.
Silence dominates across unimaginable distances.
But gravity never stops, shaping what comes next.
Slowly, new structures begin to emerge.
Clouds collapse, forming the seeds of new stars. A new star is born from ancient remains. Around it, matter begins to gather and organize. Tiny fragments collide, building larger worlds. Over time, planets begin to take shape. A new world emerges, hot and unstable. Its surface begins to settle, forming solid ground. Internal heat shapes the early landscape. Gases rise, creating a new atmosphere. Clouds begin to gather, marking the start of a new cycle. Rain falls, shaping the surface once again. Water collects, forming vast new oceans.
Conditions begin to stabilize.
Complex chemistry begins in the presence of water.
The first signs of life appear, simple yet profound. Life begins to spread across the planet. The atmosphere slowly transforms through biological activity. Over time, complexity increases. Life diversifies, filling every niche. A vibrant biosphere emerges once again. Life begins its journey onto land. Vegetation spreads, reshaping the surface. Ecosystems grow in complexity and balance. A living world, fully formed once again. A familiar pattern begins to repeat. Across the universe, cycles continue endlessly. Countless stars give rise to countless worlds. The universe expands beyond comprehension. Time stretches across billions of years. And still, it continues. In the end, even stars will fade.
What remains slowly loses its light.
The universe grows colder and darker. Only distant points of light remain.
Eventually, darkness dominates everything. But matter never truly disappears. It simply changes form endlessly. The universe carries echoes of everything that came before. Silence becomes the final state. And yet, the story of existence never truly ends. Far into the future, the universe enters an age of fading light. Stars grow older, and fewer remain. Only the smallest stars endure, burning slowly for trillions of years. Even the remnants of stars begin to fade away. But eventually, even light itself disappears from them.
Galaxies grow dim as their stars die out.
What once held billions of stars becomes nearly empty. Gravity slowly scatters what remains. Some stars wander alone between galaxies. Most of the universe becomes empty, beyond imagination. Black holes remain as the dominant structures. But even they begin to starve as matter disappears. Eventually, only black holes remain. Even these giants slowly lose energy. Over unimaginable time, they evaporate. In the end, they release their last energy.
And then nothing remains.
The universe enters its darkest era. Temperature approaches absolute zero. Time continues, but nothing changes. At the smallest scales, fluctuations still exist.
Energy briefly appears, then vanishes again. Even emptiness is not truly empty. The universe still holds potential in its quietest state.
Possibilities remain, hidden in the void. Given enough time, even small fluctuations can grow.
Patterns begin to emerge from randomness.
A new beginning may take shape. From nothing, something forms again. A new cycle may begin.
Space itself expands, filled with energy once more.
As it cools, structure begins to appear. Matter forms DOT in team from pure energy. Gravity starts its work again. The first stars shine in a new universe.
Galaxies emerge across vast distances.
Complex structures return once again. New systems begin to take shape.
Planets start to form from cosmic dust.
New worlds are born.
Some of these worlds may resemble our own past.
Conditions begin to stabilize once again.
Water returns, shaping the surface.
And with it, the potential for life.
Life begins, as it once did before.
Evolution starts its long journey again. A living world emerges, full of possibility.
A familiar pattern returns. And somewhere, a world like ours begins again. The story never truly ends. It simply begins again.